Yeah, recording has been started. Okay, guys. So today, what we'll try to do, we'll try to cover what is subquery once again. In this subquery, we'll also see what is inline view once again, and then we'll see what is the difference between subquery and correlated query. Okay. Now, once this is complete, we're going to discuss, what is correlated query. Then we'll see what is inline view. Once this is complete, we'll discuss merge in SQL. So this is very important topic, merge in SQL. These are asked in the interview. So we're going to discuss merge in SQL. So these are the three topic that we'll try to cover it today. And after this, the scenario based all the practicals scenarios of SQL will going to complete. So we'll left with only theoretical questions or a theoretical topic. So in next two classes we'll able to finish theoretical questions. Okay. After that we're going to have sessions for your doubt sessions. So it will be a doubt sessions, and then we can start with mock and your resume and profile building. So those who have completed Power BI and SQL. Okay, yeah, guys, is this clear? Okay. Now, although we have discussed subquery, but then also we'll discuss in brief what is subquery. Okay, and then we see what is correlated query. Okay, for that let me create one table with the name employee, and this table will have one column as employee id. The data type of this column is integer, then another column with the name employee name, and the data type is varchar. Then we have a department. We are storing varchar value into this column, and then we have a salary column. Inside this salary column we are storing decimal value. Okay, so let me create this table. There is already a table with the name employee. What I will do, I will drop this table. Okay, so let me first drop this table. So drop table, and the name of the table, so name of the table is employee, so I will give this name employee. Let me execute this. See, I'm successfully able to drop this table. Now I will comment this line. Okay, and now recreate this table with these columns. Okay, so now I'm successfully able to create this employee table. Now what I'm doing, I'm inserting data into this table. So how to write insert query? So it should start with insert into. So it is saying insert into, and the name of the table is employee, and what are the column, like this is the employee id, employee name, department id, and salary. So I am trying to insert data into employee table into this column. So these are the four different columns, and then we have to write values, and you can provide this value. Okay, so this is one row. So one row, the first column is one, so employee id is one, employee name is ls, the department name is hr, and the salary is 60,000. Okay, so this value will go as a first row in their corresponding column. So the sequence is very important. The first sequence is employee id, so the first value will go to the employee id. The second column is employee name, so this value should be employee name, and so on. Now, so this is my first row. Once this is complete, I need to put comma, and after that, in the parenthesis I can provide the value of the second row, then comma, and again the value of third row, and so on. So this is called how to insert multi lines in one insert into a statement. So this is insert into a statement. This is a one statement. Inside this, I am inserting multi-line. Okay. So let me insert all these value. See, I'm able to insert six rows. And let me read the data from this table. So see, I have all this data. Now I am creating another table. The name of the table is department. It's a department, and we have a department ID and department name. So let me create this table. So now I'm successfully able to create this table with the name departments. And let me insert data into this department table. So we have a department as HR, IT, finance. If you try to read data from these two tables, department and employees, so this is the data. So my department table have a two column and three rows, and my employee table has a four column and six rows. The value that we have into our department table. Okay. Now, what is the scenario? So these are the type of scenario that they will going to give you in the interview. The first scenario is find the employee who wants more than average salary of all employee. Okay. So whenever you are getting any type of scenario, you need to you know convert that scenario into piece by piece. So develop your code or write a SQL query piece by piece. Okay. So what is saying, find the employees who earn more than average salary of all employees. So first of all, what you have to do, you have to find the average salary of all the employee, and then check the salary of each employee one by one. So what you have to do, if I copy this data, copy with header, uh, let me put that in Excel. So I will have Excel. Okay, let me put this data. So I have this table. So I have this table. First of all, what you have to do, this step one is to find the average salary of all employees. So find average salary of all employees, and once you find the average salary of all the employee, then like how to find it, so if you say equal to avg, okay, average is not there, so fine, no issue. So what I will do, I will use sum. Okay, and I will sum up all these value, then I put a comma. So let me sum this. I will get this sum, and I will divide this value by the count of rows. So the count of rows is 6. So what will happen? So this divided by 6, I will get this average. So average is 72,500. The average is 72,500. So this is the average, of all the employee, and then you have to compare whether the salary of this employee is greater than 72,500, so it is lesser, so this record should not count. Then you have to compare with the second row, then again you have to compare with the third row. This is greater, Charlie has more salary, or greater salary than the average salary of all the employee, so this record should be there. David should be there. Same way, these four records should be there. And the second step, it need to compare individual salary by average salary. Okay, so you need to tackle this scenario by two steps. First you need to find the average salary, and once you find the average salary, then you have to compare individual salary by average salary. Individual salary by average salary. So you need to compare individual salary by average salary. Okay, how I can do that? Let's discuss here. So first what I will do, I will write a code that will going to give me the average salary of the employee. So this is my table. This is my employee table. So what I will write select star from name of the table. Let me read this data. I have this data. What I have to find? I have to find the average salary. Okay. So there is a function. What is the function? The function is avg. This is a function is equal. And what is the name of the column? The name of the column is salary. So I will put salary column. I will enclose my parenthesis. Okay, and run this. I will get average salary. So I will get average salary is 72,500. This is the average salary. Now once you get the average salary, you need to compare the salary of each employee with this average salary. So what you have to do, I have to come you have to compare the salary of each employee. So what I will do, let me write a star, then comma, and let me run this. Okay, okay, okay. So what are the column that I need? Let me do that. Okay. Since I am doing the aggregation here, I need to use group by. I cannot run this statement. So let me see which are the column that is there. So I have employee ID. So let me write employee ID here. Employee ID. What is the another column that I need? I need employee name, and then I need department, and then I need salary. So salary column is also there. I need it. And since I'm doing aggregation on salary column, okay, so all these column should come into group by. All these columns should come in the group by. So I will write group by all this column. Let me run this query. Yeah, let me run this query. Let me remove this salary from here. Let me run this query. I should able to have. Okay. So these are grouped based on employee ID, employee name, and department. For each three combination of these three column will have a unique value. But if you try to have the average salary of the organization, you can simply what you do, you can simply use average salary, run this select statement. It will going to give you the average salary of the complete organization. Once you get the average salary of the complete organization, what you have to do, you have to compare. So this is my average salary, you need to compare with each of these value. Okay, how to do that, how to make that comparison? Using where clause. Okay, so I will use a sub query. So I will use two select query, two select statement in one single query. So what I will do, I will say select a star from the name of the table. The name of the table is employees, and I will put where condition. Where what I will do, salary of the employee, each salary, all these salary, I will do the comparisons where salary, you know, greater than, and now within parentheses, I will put my this query. The query that will going to give me the average salary of each of them. So this query will going to give me the average salary, that is 7,200 500, and with this average salary I will going to compare for each employee. So I use where condition. So this where condition will going to help me out, for checking the condition. So it will going to check whether salary is greater than this average or not. This is a greater than symbol. If it is greater than, only that record should be visible. So if I run this query, see, for all these employees the salary is greater than 7,205. So if I run these two, so see the average salary is 72,500 for all these employees, that is Charlie, David, Eve and Frank. The salary is more than 7,200. So they have, Charlie have 75,000, David has 75,000, Eve 90,000 and Frank has 85,000. For all these employees the salary is greater than 72,500. Okay, so whenever you get any scenario, you divide your scenario into simple query, developed piece by piece. So while developing, this is a development process. If I developed any complex scenario or any business logic, I even follow the same thing. First you develop this and then you write another query. So why we call it a sub query? Because we have this query, select query, there is one query and this is another query, this there is another select statement. So in a single query we have two select clause, so there is one select clause and there is another select clause. So this is one query, this query is inside another query, this query. These are called subquery. What happened, first inner query will going to run and then outer query will going to run. What is happening, the output of inner query is going to compare row by row for outer query. For each row of a employee table of a outer query, for each row, the output of inner query will going to compare and it will going to check. If it is greater than 72,500, it will give true and will get that row. Same apply for other rows as well. Okay, I suppose this is clear, guys. Can you confirm? Yeah, Roshan, Pankaj, Priyank, other people, Parnav. Yeah, cool. Now let's discuss the other scenario. So we have already done this, so let me remove it from here. See what is saying, the subquery, that is select average of salary from employee, the inner query, this run independent to the outer query. So this run independent, it means it will run first, it does not depend upon outer query, it will going to run first, give me this 7,000 to 500 output, 72,500 this output. Okay, and then output of this inner query will going to compare each row of a outer query. Okay, so that's why it's saying independent. It, the this query does not depend upon outer query for its execution, and that's why these are simply called subquery. But in correlated query, you will find that inner query depend upon outer query for its execution. Okay, and that's why this point is important. So in simply in subquery, or simply called in subquery, in subquery they are independent of outer query. Inner query is independent of outer query. Okay. Now let's see what is correlated query. So what I will do, we'll take for scenario, we'll going to write this SQL query, we'll try to understand what it is, and then we'll try to understand what is correlated query. Okay. Now what is the scenario? Find the employee who earn more than average salary in their department. So if you see the first scenario, what was the scenario? Find the employee who earn more than average salary of all employee. Of all employee means of the company, inside the whole company. We are not considering department wise. Okay. So that's why when I find the average, I find the average of all these six rows. When I find the average, I find the average of all these six rows. All these six rows. Average of all the value. I'm not segregating them department by. So I'm not taking HR differently, then IT differently, and then finance differently. No, I'm not doing that. So because it's saying of all employee. So if it says of all employees, it means inside we need to consider all the row. We need to consider all the employee of the company while comparing. But if you see this scenario, the second scenario, here saying find the employee who wants more than average salary in their department. So now I have to, first find the average salary of a HR department, and then I need to compare between the HR. Then I need to take the average salary of IT. I need to compare within IT, and then I need to take care of finance and then compare within finance. So the comparison will going to happen department wise. So first, what I have to do, I have to find the average salary of HR department, and then I have to compare with HR only. Like so, 60,000 and 50,000. If you divide, average salary come 55,000, right? So that average salary 55,000 need to compare with only these two row. So the average salary of HR department is 55,000. So if I explain here, so average salary of this HR department is 55,000, 55,000, and this 55,000 need to compare with only these two row. Need to compare with only these two row. If you see IT, 75,000 and 75,000, the average salary is 75,000. So if you find average of 75,000 and 70,000, you need to add these two value, so 1,50,000, and when you divide 1,50,000 by 2, it will going to give you 7,000 75,000. So this 75,000 value need to compare with only these two department. Again, if you take finance, inside finance we have 90,000 and 85,000. Okay. And if you sum up all these value, so let me find the average. So what I will do, I will sum up this value, these two value, and divide by 2. Divide by 2. So I got 87,500. These 87,500 need to be, you know need to be compared with these two value. Need to be compared with only these two value. Okay. So this average, first what I have to do, I have to find the average, but that need to be department wise average. So this 55,000 is average of HR department. This 75,000 is a average of IT department. This 85,000 is a average of finance department. And then while comparing, what I have to do, I have to compare this 50,000 with only HR, this 75,000 only with IT department employee, this 87,500 with only finance department employee. So what I have to put condition that the department of inner query and the department of outer query need to be same. I have to put this condition. Okay. So let me write that query for you. Let me write that query for you. So if you see this query, if you see this query, let me write the query for you. Okay. If you see this query, what will happen? If you see inner query, what it is doing, it is finding this select. So let me first take this select average of salary. So we are finding average salary, from employee table. We are giving alias as E2, and so let me write fresh, only query. So let me write select star from employee table, employees. Yeah, this is the name of the table. Let me run it. Yes. Okay. And what we'll do, we'll write where. So let me write name of all the column here. So what are the column that I have a employee ID. What is the next column? I have a employee name. What is the next column? I have a department, and then I have a salary column. Okay, let me run this query. I'm getting this. What I will do, I will give the alias this table as E or E1 or E outer OUT. Let me write this EOUT. So E outer query, E underscore out. I given this alias. Alias means I can, instead of writing employees table, what I can do, I can refer this table with this name. It is similar to nickname. So instead of writing employees, what I can write, I can write e dot out. Let me run this query. See, I'm getting the same data. So I given the alias of this table as e outer. Now what I'm saying, like select, give me employee ID, employee name, department, and salary from this table. And I'm writing where clause. Inside where clause, what I can write, where what I have to compare, I have to compare salary. Okay, so I will write where salary, and salary should be greater than inside parenthesis. I will write query for the average salary. So what I will write, I will write select what I need average salary. So I will use function avg, and the salary column, average of salary, and I will write from, what is the name of the table. The name of the table is employees. So I'll write employees here. Okay, and what I will do, I will give alias as e inner. So e underscore inner. So this is my inner query. If I run this much only, I will get average salary from employee table. So that is 72,500. So it is giving me overall salary. Department type comparison is not happening. So what I will write, the department of outer table and the department of inner table should be same. So what I will write, where e underscore outer query ka department ID. We have a department ID from this table. Let me see. me see. So we don't have a department ID column. We have a department column. So I will write department. I will write department. So what I will write, where e dot department should equal to e inner. So that is inner query ka table dot department should be saved. Okay. So what I'm saying, while finding the average, what you have to do, you have to make sure that you need to check the department of outer query and the department of inner query should be same. Okay. So if I run this, see. So this is HR finance. Okay. So let me check. We are getting data for Eve. Let me see. This is a HR. For HR department, the average salary is 55,000, right? So when it will compare with this Alice and Bob, so this first row salary is 60,000. So we'll have data for Alice. But if you see Bob has salary of 50,000, which is lesser than 55,000. So from HR department, I should have only this row. Okay, so I should have data for Alice. Let me check. So for HR department, I have data for Alice. Now, if you see IT department for Charlie and David, what is the average? Average of salary that is 75,000. Both of them have 75,000 salary. What is my condition? That is greater than. So if you see, this is greater than symbol. So the average salary is 75,000. Both of them have 75,000. So that's why we are not getting a single record from IT department. So if I check for IT department, the data is not there. See, in place of that, if I write greater than and equal to symbol, then there is a chance that we'll get data for IT department as well. See, for Charlie and David, both have 75,000 salary, and that's why both these two roles are coming. Okay, if I simply write greater than, these two row will not come. So if I write, these two rows are not coming. Now, if you see for the finance department, what is the average salary? 87,500. If you compare between these two, for Eve, it is 90,000, greater than 87,500. For Frank, it is 85,000. Is it less? So that's why Frank row will not come. In the output, will have data for Eve only. So if I go back here, I have data for Eve. So what is happening to comparing the department, you know to compare, to make sure that average of IT department should compare with IT, the average of HR department will only compare with the HR department. So the department of HR, this inner query and this outer query department should be same. I put this condition. So the department of outer query, e outer, must be equal to the department of inner query. And because of this reason only, this department by comparison is happening. Okay. Now if you try to run this query, inner query, it will going to fail. It will not going to run. So this inner query is dependent on outer query, because I have written where condition. These type of subquery, although these are subquery because we have one selected statement here, another selected statement here. So we have, this is my outer query, this is my inner query, but this inner query depend upon outer query for its execution. You cannot independently execute this inner query, it will going to fail. This type of subquery is called correlated query or correlated subquery. Okay, see, so a correlated subquery is a subquery that refer column in outer query. Which column it is referring? It is referring, department column of outer query. The inner query is referring department column of outer query. This inner query, it is means inner query. Inner query depend upon outer query and is executed once each row in outer query. Once for each row in outer query. So this inner query will not execute at one go for all the row of a table. What it will do? What it will do? This is my outer query. Okay, okay. For department wise, it will find the average, and for each row, it will going to execute. So for this department, again, it need to execute for this department, then this row, then this row, then this row. Got it, guys? Do you have any question? Please ask. Is the difference between correlated query and the subquery is clear? Ayush, it is clear. Pankaj, other people, Parnab, Roshan, you there? It's clear to you? Yeah, guys. Now, let's see what is inline view. Okay. So I suppose we have discussed inline view, right, guys? Can you confirm we have already discussed inline view, correct? Yeah, we have discussed. Okay, so we'll skip this and we'll discuss merge in SQL. So this is important topic. Okay, to understand this merge in SQL, what I will do, let me first, let me first explain this scenario. We'll first understand by creating table. Okay, and then we'll try to understand it and then we'll go back to the definition. Okay, so we are creating the same table with the employee. Okay, it which have employee id, employee name, department and salary, these column. So we already created this table, so I won't be going to recreate it. Okay, we already have this table with the name employee, so I comment this line because when we read data from this table, when we read data from this table, let me read data from this table. Select star from name of the table, that is employee. Let me read data from this table. I should not click on new query, I should click on execute. Yeah, so I have already this data, and I suppose we are inserting the same data. So this 60,000, 50,000, and 70,000. So let me first drop this table and we'll recreate it. So what I will do, I will drop this table. So when I drop this table, the table data as well as table structure both will gone. So what I will do, I will write drop table and the name of the table. The name of the table is employee. Okay, I will drop this table. The table has been dropped. So if you try to run select query, it will going to fail. So saying invalid object, and this is employee. So object means table. So when I say object, it can be a view, it can be a procedure, it can be a table. Okay, anything. Okay, so when I try to call this employee table, when I try to call this employee table, since I drop this table, since I drop this, since I drop this table, I'm not able to read the data. The table is not present inside DBO schema. What I will do, I will uncomment this line and recreate table. So I have created this table employee, and let me read the data from this table. I'm able to see I am able to successfully able to create employee table, and this table does not have any value or a data, so I'm it is showing empty. Now what I will do, I will going to insert data into this table into employee ID column, employee name, department, and salary. So three rows I'm trying to insert into this table. Three rows affected, and what I will do, I will comment this line. Okay, and try to read data again from this table to see is the data has been successfully inserted. So yes, data has been successfully inserted into employee table with three rows, sorry, with three rows and four columns. Now what I will do, what I'm doing, I'm creating another table with the name employee update. Okay, so I will create this table. This table have exactly same column. So if you see, I have employee ID, I have employee name, I have department, and I have salary. So if you see the employee table, this table have these columns. So if I run it, I have this column. Exactly whenever I'm creating another table with the name employee update, I have exactly same column. So I have employee ID, employee name. So employee ID, employee name is here. Then we have a department, department is here, and then we have a salary. So salary is here. So let me create this table. The table has been already created. Okay, okay. Now what I will do, I'm inserting data into this table employee update. These are the column, and the value are first row is 2, that is for Bob HR. Okay, and this is third row, and this is fourth. So let me do that. Let me do that. Okay, now let me read data from these two tables. So let me read data from these two tables. So I will read data from employee table, and I will have exactly same data from employee update. So this is the name of the table that I have created it. Let me execute this to table. I will have data. So I will have data into both the table. So the first output is for the first table, that is employee, and the second output is from the second table, that is employee update. Okay. Now suppose you know suppose like suppose this is my table, this is a fact table that I have. Okay, this is my fact table, This is my fact table, and from this table, this is my fact table, and I'm using employee table. So I have employee ID, employee name, department, and salary. Okay, I'm using this table for my reporting purpose. So what I'm doing, I'm using this table for my reporting purpose. Okay, this is a table that is used for reporting purpose. And now, whenever a new data came, the new data, you know, the at the source side, that is my customer, they are inserting data into this table, employee update. Okay, so new data come into this table. From where this data will come? Suppose we have some website. Whenever you log in into that website, you will going to provide your employee, suppose employee name or customer name, suppose employee name or employee ID, employee name, department, and HR. So suppose this table is maintained by HR team or a hiring team. Let me write that, hiring team, or you can say that a staffing team. So whenever they are hiring somebody, they will going to insert data into this employee update table. Okay, they are going to insert this data into this employee update table. As a ETL developer, what we have to do, we have to fetch, bring all the data from employee table and insert into, from this employee update table, we need to insert data to employee table. Okay, so what I have to do, from employee update, HR or hiring team, what they are doing, they are inserting data or inserting information about new employees. So HR team is maintaining this table. As a ETL developer, what you have to do, you have to bring all the rows that is there into this table, from this employee update table into this employee table. Why need to bring? Because I am creating some report. Suppose I am creating headcount report. What is a head count? This head count report will contain information or analysis about employee. So how many active employees are working? This is analysis about employee. How many active employees are working? When they have joined? Okay, what is their salary? What is their skill? In which department they are working? So all these informations of an employee are present into this table or this employee table. What is their salary? Okay, all these analysis are done using this table. So I should, inside this table, I should have information about all the employee in organization. Okay, so what I have to do, from this table I need to bring this data into this table. So that's why this table is called source table. In in ETL purpose, we call it as a source table. In ETL term, we call it as a source table because I need to bring the data from this table. So that's why these are called source table. Since I need to insert the rows present into employee table into the employee update, from employee update into employees, so this is called target table. This is called target table. Why target table? Where I need to insert data, I need to insert into employees. Which table I have to update or insert, you know, this is called employee table. So that's why these are called target table. From where I'm getting a new rows or new data, that is from source table, that is employee update. So in general, when you have to bring data from source table and insert that data into the target table, for that purpose you need to use merge into. Okay, so when you have to use merge into, let me repeat once again. When you have to bring data from source table and insert into target table based on some common column, the common column is employee ID. If you see that type of, that for that type of scenario, you need to use merge. Okay, merge into query, right? So what will happen in one single query merge into, you will able to insert data, you will able to insert data. If you want to delete some row, you can delete. So suppose, like, I'm maintaining this table, employee table, and suppose, this employee id 2 has left organization, or I, for some privacy issues of employee, after 5 years company cannot hold their data. Okay, like whenever you are creating some account into Facebook and all that, what they have to do, if you allow that they can hold your data, then they can do so. But if you say that after holding, some 5 years of data, or when I delete my, account, Facebook should not have any information about me. Okay, then what I have to do, what they have to do, Facebook has to delete your information from their table, from their database. They need to delete your information. So suppose, uh, if you want to delete some rows, you can delete. So you can put some condition, you can delete. If you want to insert some other rows, you can insert. If you want to update some row, so suppose this employee Bob was in HR department, now he moved to IT department. So I have to do for the employee ID 2, that is Bob, I have to update the department from HR to IT. That type of, scenarios, that can be handled with the merge into query. So merge query is very dynamic, and that's why I use when we have to migrate data from source table to target table, from one table to another table. So whenever you have to migrate data from one table to another table, then merge into is used. As a data analyst, you don't have to write any merge into query, but as a ETL developer, you have to. Okay, I'm just, explaining you so that you should have idea of all these, uh, how, migration and all that happening. Sometime for experience more than 5 years, these questions are asked. So that's why I'm, trying to cover even the advanced topic as well. Okay, now let's try to understand, you know how we can write merge query. Okay, how we can write merge query. Okay, so if you try to understand piece by piece, so if you see what they are writing merge into. So this query will start from merge into. Okay, and first table that we need to write is target table. So where I need to merge my data, where I need to insert my data, I need to insert my data into my target table. The target table is employee. Okay, the into this table I need to insert data. So that's why whenever you are writing, you need to write target table. And I am giving alias of this target table as E. Okay, from where, like from which table I need to bring data, like using which table. So this is my target table. What is my source table? The source table is employee update. So what I'm writing, merge into, in which table I'm merging into employee table. I'm giving alias as E. Using, you need to use this word, using which table I need to write source table. What is the source table? Employee update. What is the alias that I'm giving as a U. So using this table. Okay, then I have to give what is the common column between these two table. If you see employee table and employee update table, the common call, let me run this query, select query for both the table, so that you can relate everything piece by piece. So let me write it here. If I put this table, if I run this table, so see, the common column is employee ID. Based on employee ID, I'm writing condition. So on, it is, you know, will behave similar to join or inner join. If I be more specific, it will, behave similar to inner join. So it will say on e dot employee ID equal to u dot employee ID. So based on this, matching value, it will going to write some condition. So what I'm saying, when matched, when match means when employee ID matches, when employee ID of my source target table and when employee ID of my source table, when this going to be matched, then what you have, then what I have to do, I have to do update, I need to update. So I need to update salary. I need to update his name, employee name, and I need to update his department. So suppose, like why I'm saying why I need to update, suppose I have my this table. So I have, suppose this is my employee table. If I run this to table, I have this my employee table. The first output is from employee table. The second output is from employee update table. If you see, when I compare with the employee ID one and one is not there, right? The new data has came for employee ID 2, 3, and 4. We already have this old data into employee table. Sorry, HR team or staffing team has updated this data. Okay, what is the updated data is, for employee ID 2, Bob. Bob, he was in HR department. Still, he is in HR department. But earlier his salary was 50,000. Now HR has increased his salary and now his salary is 55,000. So Bob got appraisal, his salary from 50,000, now he's getting 55,000. Okay. Now, if you see employee ID 3, that is Charlie. Charlie earlier has salary 75,000, but now he's getting salary as 80,000. Now for this David is the new employee of our company who joined into finance department, and his salary is 90,000. So David earlier was not present in employee table, but the staffing team has hired him. He joined in the finance department and his salary is 90,000. So for this row number 4 need to be insert. This row I have to insert into this table. So if I explain you in the Excel so that you guys can relate, because this is very important topic and I want that you should understand. So this table is my target table. Okay, the table that I'm currently using. These are maintained by ETL team. So let me write it. This target table is maintained by ETL team. Okay, this table, this table is my source table. This table is my source table. This table is my source table. These table are maintained by HR team. These table are maintained by HR team. Okay, so HR what they have updated, we were using this data earlier. Now HR is saying that this Bob and Charlie got appraisal. You know, Bob and Charlie got appraisal. Bob earlier has 55,000 salary, 50,000 salary. Now he should have salary 55,000. And Charlie, he was getting 75,000. Now he should have 80,000 salary. So for Bob and Charlie, HR team has, given the appraisal and their salary has been hiked. Okay. This David is a new employee, and earlier he was not present in our organization. He joined as a new organization who has assigned employee ID as a 4. His name is David. He will work in finance department and his salary will be 90,000. So all these 3 row from this table, source table, need to be get into the target table. But there is some condition. What is a condition? One way, like, what is the condition? If employee ID matches. So if Bob and Charlie is already, information is already present. Bob and Charlie, employee ID matches, 2 and 3 matches. Then their information need to be updated. So their name might be changed. You know their department might be changed. So I need to update their department, or there may be some chances that their salary may have changed. So I need to update their salary. So when you see it here into margin 2, so when employee ID matched, then what I have to do? Update. I need to run update query. So whenever you write update, you write update set e dot salary, e dot employee name, and e dot department. Why I'm saying e first, e dot department? Because this e table is my target table, employee table. E table is my employee table. This is my table E. This is my table E. This is my table U. This is my table U. Okay. So I need to update the There may be a chance his name has changed. There may be a chance his department has changed. There may be a chance their salary has changed. I don't know what has changed. But since employee was already present and I'm getting some data from HR, there may be chances that some changes has taken place. So that's why what I will do, I will write, updates. I need to update salary, I need to update employee, I need to update department. From where I will need to update the salary? So their salary need to be equal to u salary. U salary what? U is a update. This is the table that is maintained by HR department. So get the salary from update table and put it here. Get the salary from update, or you say source table and sorry, employee name, and put it here. You assign here. Replace this employee name by this name, because there may be a chances that name has changed, or maybe chances department has changed. So bring that department from source table and assign that for the department table. For which row? This run only when employee ID matched. Okay. So what will happen for this? Bob and Alice, their salary will going to update from 50,000. It will 55,000. From 75,000, it will 80,000. It will going to update. Update by which query? This will be going to update by this line. Now, what saying when not matched? If employee ID is not matched, so see, if employee ID debit 4 is not matching, debit is not present, means 4 did not match with any, means 4 is a new employee who came in my organization. So what I have to do? I have to insert this row into this table. So that's what I'm doing. I am saying when not matched, then I need to run insert query. So insert, these are the employee ID, employee name, department, these are the column. What is the value that I'm passing? Value need to be from table. From which table? Source table, table U, from this table. Because new employee information is present into this source table. That's why U dot employee ID, not E dot employee ID. U dot name, employee name, U dot department, U dot salary. So as of now, if you see these two line, if you see into employee table, I have a Bob, his salary is 55,000. I have Charlie, his salary is 75,000. There is no information about debit. Debit information is present in employee update. But if I run this my query, let me run it. This row has been successfully affected. Three row affected. Why three row affected? Because two row for Bob and Charlie, one row for debit. There is no impact on Alice. Okay, because this is already present into my table. Alice ka new information has not yet come. So there is no change into his record, but there will be change in record of these two employee, and this row will be inserted. How I will going to check? So when you go back and try to read data only from employee table, now you will have information about debit. This is a new record that has inserted with 90,000 salary, and I have updated information about Charlie and Bob. So Bob's salary is now 55,000 and Charlie's salary is 80,000. From 75,000 it has increased to 80,000. There is no change in the information of Alice because Alice information was not present in source table. No information about Alice, so no change in Alice. So in single query, whenever you have to do insert, delete or update, These type of scenario can be written within one single query, and that single query is merged into. For that, I need to have target table, I need to have source table. The data from source table need to migrate to target table based on some common column. What is a common column? The common column is employee ID. Based on this employee ID, I will do the comparison. So when employee ID match, I need to update the information. I don't know his salary has changed. I don't know his employee name has changed, or I don't know his department has changed. So what I will do, I will update all the column. Okay. Then if the value does not match, then I need to insert. This insert is for the new employee. And this is the real scenario based question which I explained, which I worked on my company data. Any question, guys, you have to ask, you ask. Is this clear? Merge into is clear? I have taken lots of time to explain you this. Yeah, Ayush, Pankaj, other people. Yeah, guys, I'm done from my side. If you have any question, you ask. Let me